Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Confessions. Our first post is by Good Dish. I have a daughter I've never met or even acknowledged. When I was in college, I had a friend with benefits who ended up getting pregnant. We'd known each other since high school, and I truly did care for her a great deal. She had been dating another guy, but we secretly kept seeing each other too. When she told me she was pregnant, she said she knew for a fact it was his baby, not mine. I didn't understand how she knew that with certainty because we hadn't been using protection, which I know was a very irresponsible decision, and we'd been seeing each other regularly, at least once a week. Word spread around campus, and from what I heard, he completely denied that it was his child and claimed that they'd only done it once and he'd pulled out. She left at the winter break and didn't come back. Before she left, I asked her if what he'd said was true, and she didn't really answer. I told her point blank that it was obviously much more likely to be mine unless she'd been with someone else, which she swore she hadn't. We talked, and I told her that we all knew he was never going to acknowledge the baby, much less step up as a father, but that I'd do whatever I could to take care of her and the baby, even if she insisted it wasn't my child. Her response was something along the lines of, "I know you would. That's why it has to be his." I know that she was just letting me off the hook by saying it was his because she knew he would bail. She never asked for a paternity test from him or sued for child support. She came from a good, solid middle-class family and had plenty of support. I would have liked to have continued seeing her, but she moved back to her home state. She later got married, and from all I've heard, he's been a great dad to her daughter, and they have a couple of other kids together as well. I know that she and the baby have had a really good life and have never wanted for anything. I know they've had a much better life than I could have provided. But it kills me knowing that I probably have a daughter I've never known. I hope she's never felt abandoned or unwanted. I still think I did the right thing by not arguing any further, but it's really hard to know for sure. Our next post is by Southern Judge. I've been faking being from UK for 6 years, and it's gone way too far. I'm using a throwaway account because I don't want my friends to find my main account. In 6th grade, my family and I moved to another state because of a new job that my mother had gotten. This was the first time in my life where I would be the new kid, so I wanted to spice it up a little. When I started school the next week and had to introduce myself to the class, I decided to lie and say that I was a transfer student from the UK. I had the British accent and everything. Everybody was interested in being my friend since I was British, and they asked me a lot about how school and life was in the UK. Instead of just giving up the joke then and there, I went home and researched a bunch about the UK and came back the next day and explained everything I had researched, and people actually believed me. My plan was to pull out of the joke after a few days, but eventually I got too far in to actually stop. I sometimes ordered British snacks from online stores and brought them to school for my friends to try. My friends also gave me American snacks, and I had to pretend that I had never tried them before. I'm in 11th grade now, and all my friends and peers from that school still actually think I'm British. I know this isn't as horrible as the other confessions on here, but I'm feeling really guilty about lying about this for so long and need to get this off my chest. As soon as I get home, I switch back to my normal voice, but sometimes I even have trouble switching back to my regular voice because of how much I use the British accent. I don't know what to do because I even lied and told my friends that I'm going back to the UK for summer vacation, and they told me to send pics of my family down there when I go. I honestly don't know what to do at this point. I feel bad for lying this long, but I feel like it's been too long to pull out of this. I don't know, just needed to get this off my chest and maybe some advice. Our next post is by Gloomy Particular. I made fake throw up to stay home from school when I was 11. This isn't some big juicy confession, just something I did that's funny to me because I just remembered it and have told no one. When I was 11, I was going to this private school and hated it, got bullied and all that crap. Anyway, I literally would cry to my mom saying I didn't want to go, and she let me stay home a lot. But finally, she said I couldn't stay home anymore. So one night I decided to fake sick because she wouldn't just let me not go for no reason. Apparently faking like I got sick in the toilet and flushed it wasn't believable enough, so I had the idea to make my own. It was about 11 p.m. Mom and Dad were dead asleep. I went to the kitchen and remember getting milk, salsa, different kinds of chips, juice, and maybe some cheese or something. Anyway, I crushed up the chips, mixed it all up in a bowl, and put it in the microwave for like 1 minute. I proceeded to my bedroom and poured it all on the carpet. It didn't smell as bad as actual throw-up would, but I had to hurry, so I put on my fake sick face and voice and went to my mom's room. Told her, made her come to my room to see the masterpiece, and she just looked at it with no reaction. She was genuinely unfazed. She wasn't comforting me like she usually would. She also has a very weak stomach and didn't gag at all, just had no emotion. She said, "Okay, clean this up and go back to bed," and walked back to her room. I was low-key disappointed because that's really how you are going to act to my hard work? Anyway, next morning she woke me up for school, and I laid in bed until she came back again and said something like, "Do you remember I got sick last night? I still don't feel good." And she literally just said, "Yeah, just stay home, nothing else. No, hope you feel better. No, let me take your temp. No, you're going to the doctor like usual." Thinking back on it, she 100% knew it was fake, and it's low-key embarrassing. Maybe she saw the effort and was like, okay, she really doesn't want to go. To this day, I have no idea what possessed me to make fake throw up. Really unnecessary. Anyway, that's all. Sorry if it was lame, I just never told anyone. Our next post is by McJachny. I broke one of my bones on purpose to get out of going to school as a kid. When I, 16M, was 9, I really hated school. I would do anything in my power to get a day off. Fake sick days, faking a high temperature, fake vomit, and so on. I got away with this for so many years, but people were catching on and getting suspicious. We had a trampoline buried in the ground in our yard, and while I was on it one evening, I had a thought: if I broke a bone, then I can't go to school for weeks. I was jumping really high, thinking how to do it, and I rotated my leg so I would land on my ankle and it would hit the metal frame and springs. I didn't think it was possible to feel that level of pain. Not just my leg, but all through my body. I landed on the side of my ankle and my whole leg literally cracked. I don't know how I didn't do more damage than I did, to be honest. Spent the whole night in hospital, and to my delight, I was put in a full leg cast, thigh to ankle, and sent home the next evening. Funnily enough, it didn't even give me much time from school. I had 1 week of glorious breakfast in bed, video games, and terrible daytime TV, and then I had to use crutches for weeks on end at school with people constantly trying to draw on my cast. I feel bad about this. I've never confessed, and I don't think I can now after so many years. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to blatantly hurt myself for this kind of thing. I'm almost worried for myself. I was and still might be a little bit psychotic. Edit. People who are genuinely concerned for my welfare, I'm okay. I ended up being homeschooled about a year after this. I just had some awful teachers, and the school actually ended up being shut down a while after I left. I am seeking therapy for non-related issues, however. Thank you for your concerns. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.